Welcome to the Sunday afternoon chat. I'm not wearing glasses to try and dark glasses to try and look cool, but I couldn't find my magnified green glasses. But these work instead. I'm an achiever. I got the glasses on. I'm an achiever. Yep. Okay. I'm like Stevie. That's more. Should be more Stevie Wonder. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Everyone's acting shitty. It's not even July. Though the world's full of wankers who join Black Lives Matter and drink soy. Yeah, every. I hope you're all keeping well today. Yeah, I'm an achiever. Looking good, Mr. Charisma. Thank you, my dear Janet. It's freezing cold here today, but it wasn't as cold as it was. I hope it's better where you are. Book Egypt, yeah. Book Egypt, yeah. Book Egypt, like. Is that a brilliant song on Apple's tunes? I don't know what you're talking about. I want to be an achiever. I want to be an achiever. That's what I am. Come achieve for me, woman, yeah. So that was Stevie Wonder. A very bad Stevie Wonder impression. Phoenix, Arizona. That's my mother's surname, Phoenix. You bought cigarettes today, I'm an achiever. Yeah, you're an achiever. You should light one up and go, I'm an achiever, and take a long drag out of it. I'm not gonna be star. They're all becoming memes, these fucking things. The mayor in Minneapolis wishes he had Trump's wife. I bet he does. He looks like he's about 12, that guy. When I was looking at it, I thought that was a little boy. Liverpool. And some heavy metal sound. Yeah, he looks like a little boy, the mayor of... well, he is the boy, isn't he? That's why they look like boys. That they all have this... They're like just the Justin Biebers of politics. That's really what they are, aren't they? Remember back in the 80s, there was that Tom Cruise had the risky business, and all the white boys, all the white breads, all had glasses like that. She's lovely in Holland, yeah. Natalia is lovely. You're fine ass, baby. Did you notice that the black magic I can't breathe mantra, which coincides with the mask wearing and effects of COVID? Yeah, it's all, well, you see, I don't know if they're black magic as much as it's almost like a kind of all these synchronicities all happening at the same time. All these synchronicities all happen at the same time. If I had a son, I'd totally name him Mark of the Beast. Very good. I've got a brother called Mark too as well. Have you seen the White House press secretary? No. There's lots of good women involved in politics, isn't there? Like, especially American politics. Loads of starfuckers and that kind of thing. Like that movie, Taxi Driver, the Sybil Shepherd character was a starfucker. You haven't slept for 3 nights. Now, my sleeping's been all over the world for ages. All over the world, all over the place for ages. We are Bill's Gate. Very good. It was Celine, I think that's the person's name. Very good. Towchester in Northamptonshire. Don't ever heard of that one. Towchester. Irish Gandalf, the people at Kiwi Farms. Well, thank you. Yeah, the moon. There was a cloudy night here last night, but the moon was coming through the clouds. It was so big and bright. Lots of rain in Florida, but you get that big, heavy, big, huge raindrops there with the thunder. We don't get any thunder and lightning really in Ireland. Is the global elite losing the plot? Absolutely, yeah. They've gone insane. They've actually lost their minds. This is what they're doing. All these things. They have run out of all the plans. They're at the Jonestown right while the Kool-Aid is being mixed. Sniffing and coughing. Feel better there, Natalia. In Holland, another fan leader in Holland. Got all these fine-looking women in Holland who follow me. It's good, it's like there's the Dutch woman. It's good, like no, that's here for sure, like. Dunfermline, isn't that where Stuart Addison is from? Big country, or was from. God rest his soul. And they all vanish. They're no longer here. My Stevie Wonder impression put them off. That'd probably be called racist and blindest. Trump surrounds himself with attractive people. Yeah, that's true. That's a very important thing, because that's if you look at all the globalist politicians, they all look like death. They all look like they're about to pop up. None of them have any happiness about them. And yeah, I've noticed that. Very interesting. Crete, lucky you, Helen. Yeah, I was reading about the Battle of Crete in World War II there yesterday, and how the British officers left the British 5,000 regular British troops there and saved their own asses when they evacuated. What's wrong with saying we need to be friends with Israel to get the Jews voted? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? It makes perfect sense to me. Say it like Toaster, it's 6 miles north of Milton Keynes. Well, I've been to Milton Keynes a good few times. Perhaps you could get a job employed by Trump. Clever. Yeah, that's weird about all of these ghoulish and ugly and unhealthy people running like health ministries and stuff like that. It's almost like that's their souls are being shown to the public or something like that. Waltham Abbey, Essex in England. I think I've been there. When Linda had to go to our local hospital day, it was the creepiest experience. I hope you guys are all right. No cars outside either. I only kneel well down when I go to church. I don't go to church either. I don't kneel down there either. 21st birthday in Tampa. Cool. That'd be a lot of fun. Sonny Elvis Costello. I'm in Wales. Oh, 2 people in Waltham Abbey in Essex. That's interesting. You don't know each other. Is the cure for COVID racism? No, the cure for COVID is staying at home and not watching the TV. That's the cure for it. The Brehon Law. No, the one that you need to know about the Brehon Law is Kevin Flanagan, who's a chap. He's from Dublin. I don't know where he is now. He's got all the information on that. If you go on the internet and look for the Brehon Law Society, that's where you'll find all the information on that. I'm glad to be a beacon of hope. Thank you very much, and laughter. Do you believe in bicycling? Yeah, I have a bicycle. Yeah, I take it out now and again. It's just the problem with cycling in Ireland is the weather. It's terrible. It's like, especially around here, it's so windy. It's just not much good. I can't believe the lockdown is still running in Los Angeles. Andalusia, such a romantic sounding name, romantic place. Andalusia. Apparently Corona. Yeah, I saw that, and they're really, see, that's the whole thing of the globalists losing their minds. They're really going downhill now fast. In Kenya, we had about 80 deaths. Do you like Kenya? That's cool. Well, do you like living? I want to kind of start getting to visit Africa soon, and Kenya was one of the countries I was thinking of going to. Would you recommend me going to Kenya? And I know there's ancient sites all over Africa. Don't know anything about that, Philip. Rainbow Gate or anything like that. No, sorry. And then they vanish again. Leaving. Oh, they're back. Better to ellipses on your feet than ellipses on your knees. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm saying with the you're saying sister art. I feel really bad for people in America right now, especially sane people who are trying to keep their wits about them. I can only imagine that the energy must be toxic. It must be really toxic. Berlin, Germany, we're opening slowly. Still, my industry is closed. I'm sorry to hear that. My industry is still closed as well, although we're opening up. I can travel around the county tomorrow, which will be a huge. I can actually get to the beach, which is a big, huge thingy for me. Might even fucking sleep on it if the weather's good. Is Anto and Deco dead? Anto and Deco are going through a bit of a spiritual thing at the moment that will be all revealed in time. But Anto has gone on a spiritual journey, and when he returns, Deco has no one to hang out with. So when he returns to Beyonce from his Beyonce Flanagan from his secret journey, I'll have an Anto and Deco thing for you. Have you noticed that Barry Drewmore is quiet as well too? He's going through a difficult time. I'd go to Egypt. Looks amazing, but like I have all across North Africa, there's all kinds of interesting megaliths right across to Morocco, Tunisia, and everything, and then down in sub-Saharan Africa, there's loads of stuff down there. It just doesn't get any attention. What do you think if Switzerland says hello? This something. Sorry about your name. This drinking life. What do I think of DejaVu? Well, I think DejaVu was very well covered by Anthony Peake in his work, but I do believe that DejaVu is literally, quite literally, the multiverse thing becoming aware of it for a second, and that's what happens. Is that you get a you get a bit of foresight from a parallel universe you also exist in for a split second. And that's what I'm convinced Deja Vu is. The Karnak stones are cool, not megaliths. Yeah, they are megaliths. They are megaliths. And what you got about that part of France is full of megaliths. The massive ones. There's the Temple des Marchands and the Grand Menhir of Lac Macmier. You must be correct. The Karnak is nothing but megaliths. No, I'd love to go to Western Africa, the Dagons. I'd love, but problem there is there's lots of, there's lots of jihadists now picking on those people. That's the problem. Anto been in, yeah, I've been in a paralytical universals, yeah. Oh, darn, I've been in a paralytical universe, a paralytical, paralytic, paralytic universe. Sorry. Yeah, I'm having a good day. Had a good day. I had a lovely Gouda salad, a salad with Gouda cheese in it for my lunch. Continuing the Dutch thingy. Megalithic sites in Wales. Yeah, there's loads in Anglesey. There's Cafe. I can't pronounce the Welsh thing. I've done a video on Room 313 about it. I hope that maybe in the end of the summer getting back down to Wales again. I want to do the megaliths in South Wales, but yeah, there's loads of them. Loads of them. Loads of interesting churchyards that have they're built on megaliths or near them and that kind of thing. Hello, Jamie Hiller Rubis. Love your vids. Black Dark Day in China. Once all to see. I can't. It went move past me. You keep asking me about James Swagger every week. I don't know what happened to James. He just was vanished, and the last thing I heard about him, he said he was moved to Peru. I don't know. He vanished. He said apparently just wanted his life back and stepped out of public profile. But I mean, I do kind of miss the guy. We had great times together, but I have no idea where he went or what he's doing now. I can't find him. In Canada, yeah, there's megaliths everywhere. Everywhere. Actually, something shifted here yet energetically yesterday in Los Angeles. I noticed there is a feeling of peace. Great, I love that. And that, well, that's great. I'm delighted to hear that. I missed the rest. Huh? And but the weather's not been as beautiful in years. Go figure. I'm delighted to hear that. Delighted to hear that. Because Los Angeles is a place that needs a break, psychologically. Watch The Lighthouse Day. Great film recommendation analysis. Was pleased to read the credits. Was it that was filmed in Nova Scotia? Yeah. Oh, it looks amazing, that film. The Nova Scotia looks so much like Ireland and Scotland in that film. I know it's on the other side, basically. Just going to the Serpent Mound in Ohio. Lucky you. Wish I was going there. My aunt lived in Morocco for a few months. Said it was beautiful. Yeah, it promised jihadist stuff. That's the issue. Wales is beautiful. I watched the movies. Isle of Land. Yeah, like the Wales is Wales has got some beautiful spots in it. Yeah, the weather, but the weather's getting better today, Anthony. It's improving here in the west, so you on the east coast, it should get better by tomorrow. Do I think they should be sent to Guantanamo Bay? Yeah, absolutely. The ones who are involved in the real bad violence, yep, they need to be dealt with strictly. You don't deal with them now. I think it'd be better to do that than to make heroes of them, to shoot them. Because if the military or the police shoot them, they'll turn them into martyrs and they'll end up getting more recruits. The best thing is to say something like Gitmo, get them down there. I live about 15 minutes from the Indian Mound. Look at you. Richmond, Virginia, I've been there. Statue defacing capital of the world. Well, it was the Confederate capital, wasn't it, during the Civil War? The train from Liverpool to Holyhead is amazing for views, and so is the car. You're looking as you're coming from out of Holyhead uh, towards Chester, and you see the mountains of Wales ahead of you, like the mist. You can see where Tolkien got the idea for the Misty Mountains in Lord of the Rings. Watched Veronica last night. Boy, that was a deflection of what's going on. Yeah, that's a true story, Linda. By the way, I thought that a very sad story, but it's a very good film. What is Santos Bonacci finally found the edge of the flat earth. I don't know what happened to him. I thought he like was into no ejaculation cult. He found it or something. The dark occultists must be crazy and maddening now. Oh no, the dark occultists are having a great time. They're getting exactly what they want. They're getting the dark chaos. They'll win either way. Either way, they win. All the chaos and all the thing that's going on. That's what they're. That's look. If you're involved in magic, both the good and the bad are both useful. This is why Crowley said, "Give me war, give me chaos, give me pestilence, give me disease," because they release the magical charge, either good or bad, on both sides. Yeah, I said about the stabbing in Cork was awful, but you know, there's white thugs and black thugs. Let's not get too obsessed with the whole racial element of that there. But the way the liberals in Ireland don't want to accept it for what it is shows what they are. But you know, let's hope that kid in Cork that was stabbed is okay. I like your cult Malta video. The Bijou and Palo was a real mysterious, but it sure is. Especially the story of the disappear. Oh yeah, really. And when you go visit it, if you can still get to visit it, it's really limited access. When you get to the end of the tour, they show you this is where it ends. This is no more, and you can look and see a whole like vast continuation of the tunnels underground going for miles that they don't show the tourists. New Jersey, how are you? There's no rage over it because the kind of people who rage are mentally ill anyway, and they're just looking for excuses to rage. That's all. Sane people don't rage and do those things. They don't have no need to feel like they're a hero. They're real heroic people. They don't have that desire or need. Wasn't there? Yeah, Black Lives Matter, Black Nobility, Black Venetian. Nah, it's nothing to do with anything like that. The black nobility runs the papacy, and well, probably until this pope, but they generally did run the papacy. Like all those Italian popes of the last couple of 100 years were all from black nobility families. The Piso family and all them crowd from both Venice and Rome. The black nobility is not only in Venice; it's also in Rome. And it vanishes. Let me see. Someone wrote something back there. What did they say? Northwest Arkansas. Yeah. Any advice to those who want to drink too much? Don't drink too much. Drink, but don't drink too much. New Jersey Pine Barrens. Cool. New Hope, Pennsylvania. Yep, I know where that is. Are you aware of Randall? Yeah. I like Randall Carson's stuff, but I think Graham Hancock does it much better. But I do like the work he does, and respect it and rate it and everything like that. It's the whole continuation of things like velocosophy and all that stuff. There's Alona. How you doing? No, it's not Alona. Elena. In Brooklyn. Hey, yeah. When's the next fawn? Oh, look, I'm doing fucking vlogs every day. Every fucking day. Every day. Eric von Daniken, though, it's all alien stuff, but I have to give him respect for... making people think. I have the traits of a psychopath, let me see, from Greece. Skilieto Mavro. I have a greeting from Greece, Thomas. I have the traits of a psychopath. I'm trying to find it, Vanny. Well, then you're not a psychopath, because psychopaths don't care. They're happy they're psychopaths, so you're obviously not one. You've been reading too many. You've been watching too many videos and getting paranoid. You're probably just a dick like everyone else. Is there a grey pope? No. Daytona Beach, Florida. Your videos have been so good for the past few months. Thank you very much, Arokia. Blah, I can pronounce it. Was Jimmy Savile involved with Fred and Rosemary West? I don't think so, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. The Rosemary West was the real beast in that dynamic. Fred was just a cuckold. Fred West was the ultimate cuckold, doing what his incredibly evil woman wanted from him, and wasn't man enough to stand up to it, and this kind of thing. And when he killed himself when he was in prison, not because he'd guilt about what had happened, but because he'd lost Rosemary forever. It was like the most she was the monster, the true monster. Yeah, that's right. They carry zero baggage. If you were a psychopath, you wouldn't care. You'd be like happy about it. I'm wearing these glasses because they're slightly just enough magnified that I can read this. Yeah, she did look evil. Fred West was just a cretinous loser. That's all he was. Who did appalling, horrible things, but she was the demon. She was she was the Karanzan of the household. All if you read about that case, everything was initiated by her. You want to see the ultimate cuckold? It's Fred West. Yeah, the Dharma and Will is very similar, Jason. Very similar. It's probably where Crowley really developed it from. Jimmy Savile was a Bevan boy. I've heard that expression of Bevan boy. What's that again? Practical magic. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do some very well made videos for 313 on all these subjects. Yeah, Fred West was extremely low IQ. That's one of the things you're always struck by. He was good for shoveling cement and things like that. Those kind of evil psychopathic women, they pick the right kind of men, pathetic enablers. Who wouldn't be man enough to walk away or stand up. Weak, compliant men. They'll do anything. And in many ways, all these like SJWs and all these liberals are all going mad in America. They're all really cuckolds for Hillary Clinton, because she was like, they were all the weak, compliant men for Hillary. Oh, Savile was definitely associated with Sutcliffe. Everyone knows that, Lord Brett Sinclair. That's not even ever hidden. In fact, Even be, that's always been there. Was the Necronomicon a real book? Well, no, in the sense that the backstory by Crowley of having it being found in the Middle East and had been in the hands of John Dee. No, as an actual book called the Necronomicon, it does not exist. But it also does exist because out of Crowley's imagination and the people that have added to it, it has sort of come to life and become real. Now, but there's, so like people slag off Simon's Necronomicon, but it still works. I've never used it, but I know people who've done the operations in Simon's Necronomicon and successfully invoked Lovecraftian entities. So it gets the job done. It gets the job done. This is the most remarkable thing about magic. Is like there is no rules and there is rules at the same time. You'll see they tore down a statue in Brook. Yeah, I saw that in Bristol. Yeah, and they attacked the 54th Massachusetts memorial in Boston. That 54th Massachusetts were a black regiment. Crowley and Hubbard worked together. Well, L. Ron Hubbard was a member of Thelema, and he was a part of the Agape chapter with Parsons in Los Angeles. They came to the opinion that Crowley's fictional novel Moonchild could actually be worked as a grimoire. So they were kind of like the first chaos magicians, and they attempted to create a Moonchild using using Crowley's book. Crowley got pissed off when he heard about this and said it was extremely dangerous, and he had Parsons removed from the head of the lodge, and then the rest is all history. Crowley's cloak of invisibility wasn't an actual cloak. It's a system of extreme concentration that allows you to become invisible. As incredible as that sounds, it can be done. I have personal experience of it. Crowley didn't write the Goetia. Oh, wrote about the Goetia. Yeah, it works in spite of itself. Yeah, that's the thing. Was Crowley a Kabbalist? Mostly, yeah. Most of his magic, most of Thelema is Kabbalism, with a bit of tantric Hindu stuff and a few other bits and pieces. But yeah, it's mostly Kabbalistic. I don't know what can I say about censorship. I don't know what you're talking about, Stephen. Tommy Hassan, I've not seen that. Oak Island, yeah, there's something. No, him and Yates and Crowley didn't hate each other's guts. Oak Island, yeah, there's definitely something interesting going on with Oak Island. How the invisibility thing works is extreme concentration. You basically remove yourself out of this reality, and you use a mirror and a candle to do it. And it's not like you become thin, or not thin, transparent. You don't dissolve. What happens is you lose yourself, all your facial features first, and then everything about you starts to basically fall out of this reality. And then if you practice and practice and practice it in solitude, like Crowley did in Mexico, eventually you not only become invisible to yourself in a mirror, but you become invisible to other people. And it doesn't matter if you're naked or wearing clothes. The form that you are in dissolves, literally. It begins with your face. Your face falls off your facial features fall off your head first. That's the first thing that happens. And it's having done it myself a few times, it's quite intense at first. It's quite frightening. And then eventually you can see right through yourself. But they talk about people who say, nobody ever notices me. I'm invisible to others. It's like I don't exist. Well, they literally are. Believe it or not, they literally are. It's because the consciousness of the observer is unable to resolve the consciousness of the person they're looking at, and they literally don't exist in their world. Yeah, I heard the helmet of Hades thing. That's very interesting. That yeah, yeah. It's a similar idea. It doesn't matter what the process you use to do this. It's all about America. You know, it does work. Do you believe America has developed anti gravity propulsion and has been in work since the 50s? No, I don't. I've seen no proof of that. If America had anti gravity propulsion, they would rule the world. I mean, much more than they do now. The secret of gravity is it's not connected to the rotation of the earth. It's connected to your observation of consciousness. You observe it. This is why these Indian yogis can float. They literally remove gravity from their reality. It's connected to here. Nothing has happened in Manchester. It's all gone quiet. Nothing. Over the canal thing, nothing has happened since then. Nothing. It's all gone. It's all gone quiet. The police are still maintaining that there never was a pusher, there never was a serial killer. The usual story, and it stopped. So the serial killer is either dead or that guy that they locked up who was the mass rapist of young guys. Is love a form of gravity? I don't know. Well, keep you grounded. I don't know. Interesting. Or the pusher died. Yeah, this has been very common all through history that serial killers often commit suicide. Not out of guilt, they just like get fed up. Yeah, that lightning striking the Washington Monument was incredible. Incredible. Plato knew about Atlantis because he had been told about it by some people from Egypt. And Plato, wasn't the first about Atlantis. Atlantis was already known then. It's just that he was the first one to really write it down and discuss it. The protests will definitely fade out. Yeah, I think they probably won't even see any more after this. I think this is the worst weekend. Yeah, that's it. You fizz out, Elena. You fizz out and you vanish. Yeah, I heard about the American canal deaths. Sunny Southport. Hello to you, Mr. Mensa. Jack the Ripper was definitely connected in big time. But he also might have been there's two very good things. He was the cousin of the Queen who was mentally ill and was known to be a nutcase, or he was this wealthy, well, semi-rich Irish American doctor who went to America and basically continued the murders over there. Both are intriguing, but it's either one or the other, or who knows? It could be they were both working together. Fascinating stuff, that Jack the Ripper stuff, though. Southport again. Someone else from Southport. So, people from all these towns in England are all like watching me at the same time, unknowing of each. I wonder if there's some kind of synchronistic, geomantic aspect to that. Parsons was trying to use a magical child. Yeah, Childe. It's pronounced, written. There you go now. Hold on. How does that differ from a normal child? No, he wasn't actually creating a child. He was creating a power force. Example is like when two people are involved in sex magic together. The child is not a baby. It's the culminate. It's a baby. It's a magical child born of their will, what they want to achieve. Nope, not to O'Brien's Tower. You mean in the The west of our at the cliffs of Moher. That's not a megalith. That thing is like a folly built in the 1700s or something like that. Good ghost stories about that. That it was used by a wealthy aristocratic lady who used to sacrifice young men who by making them walk off the cliffs. It was a kind of a Countess Bathroy Irish style. I don't know how true it is, but it's good stories there. O'Brien's Tower, yeah, because like 1,000 foot cliff right behind it into the ocean. Nope, didn't do anything else. What you heard is me about Savile is all I've done on Savile. Oh, the Apollo program was absolutely connected to the OTO. Well, JPL was basically alchemy, and the Apollo program, a whole NASA space program up until Skylab was occultic, and definitely a result of Parsons influencing Freemasons within NASA, which is the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemasons are massively involved in NASA. Where not so much now. Green on a Valoc, amazing place. Yep, well, Atlanta, hey, the one was show. Not as bad as it was, Michael or Michelle. Not as bad as it was. It used to be open. The Sobek thing. Well, what happened is that I was recovering from an operation where I had a liver infection, and I lost a huge amount of blood, and the operation was particularly brutal. It had a very bad effect on me, and I was recovering and doing fine, and I was lying in the bed in the hospital, just sitting there minding my own business, and then Sobek appeared in front of me, about 10 feet tall, inside the hospital room, and looked at me with contempt. At the same time this happened, these miniature people that looked like, I guess, fairies or something, because it was the hospital is right next to Ben Bulben, the whole centre of the whole fairyland in Sligo, that came running to the end of the bed to stare at me as if they were checking me out. And hospitals are full of a lot. Hospitals are portals because of what happens there. But yeah, Sobek was standing there looking at me with such contempt. Not contempt like you coward, you weak man, like that kind of thing. Like how a god would look at a mortal, like we're like an insect. Well, it wouldn't be hateful. It would have been exactly what you expect it is. That's why all these Wiccans invoking gods and goddesses, fucking idiots. You cannot summon a god. O'Brien's Tower. No, Mara was the cat. Yeah, redhead murders. Yeah, it was a kind of what's the word? A kind of yeah, Countess Bathroy of Ireland. Remote viewing. I know don't do it, but it's fascinating stuff, and it is real and it can be done. And the CIA stuff on remote viewing it is absolutely real, absolutely. How they have the pinpoint exact locations of Soviet submarine bases no one knew about and things like that. Merrick upon Teed, hey Corey. Yeah, well, haven't they also released all the prisoners from prison? I wonder how many of those prisoners they've released from prison are actually in Antifa, who've been given jobs by the Democratic Party in America. Well, how many of those prisoners have been released are now in Antifa wearing masks and were given jobs? Is that why they were released to begin with? Yeah, I've done loads of drawings, and if there's I've done loads of, not so much now, but about 10 years ago, I was painting and drawing things that were literally happening soon after. Hey Dom, hey, the Dom. No, there's no connection that I'm aware of between Austin Alban Spear and the Rents of Cheshire on Mystery Jay. I'm not. That's a new one to me. Yeah, all those protests will fade. Yesterday was the big they're all at home now having psychiatric episodes and feeling really depressed and posting things on Facebook like I wish I was dead. The high that they had, it's basically basically a group version of borderline personality or bipolar personality. Extreme highs, extreme intensities, followed by crashes. I don't know Candace Owens, never heard of her. You have any pets? Yeah, I have 4 cats. Wiccans don't seem to get the Hecate is the mother goddess who would. Yeah, I know. Well, they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. Lager might work better. You're right. Yeah, as for the flying spud. Megaliths in Veneto region of Italy. Yeah, there's megaliths all over Italy, all over. A lot of them are sadly destroyed in World War II, but there are loads of them. Yeah, they look like they're coming down off XD. A lot of them would be like stoned as well. I love you too, Anna. Anna Durham. Thanks for getting us through this. Well, thank you guys for getting me through this. It's very important. You get me through this as well. It's a two-way street. We're all in this together. How to protect from evil people have nothing to do with them. Simple as that. No contact ever again. Do not engage. Ghost them. Would I ever come to Australia? The thing is, it'd have to be worth my while. Like I would if I was, if it was. It's so long. It's such a journey. I mean, I got halfway there when I went to Sri Lanka, but such a long journey to Australia. It'd have to be worth my. I'd have to be getting paid or something to go there, like do a series of talks or something. Well, I'd love to go, but because of what's involved and things like that, I'd have to be worth my while. No, I don't know who Candace Owens is. Abeline, you were here last week. What do you link Dracula vampire genes and adrenochrome? I don't know about that. The adrenochrome thing isn't real. That's all made up. That's truther stuff that's all made up. About them, that the elites drink adrenochrome. That's all made up. They do they do take the blood of younger people. That's definitely, they don't even hide that. They get blood transfusions of younger people. But that only works for so long. It doesn't make them immortal. It gives them a little bit of extra help in fighting diseases and stuff. But it doesn't. It's not an elixir of youth, really. Funny, I had a dream last night that Keith Richards died. I don't know what that means. That's any mean, but I hope he doesn't. But I had a dream last night that I was listening to the radio, and they'd mentioned that Keith Richards had died. Hopefully not. When you're back on Facebook, I think Wednesday or Thursday, I'm back. The ban is up. Keith is on that young blood. Well, he doesn't look very good for someone who is. Yeah, the whole adrenochrome thing is, well, no, adrenochrome exists, but the whole thing of them sucking it out of kids as they kill them, I can find nothing even to remotely suggest there's any truth to that. It's a made up thing that truthers have, like the Black Cube of Saturn is a made up thing. Yeah, Keith Richards has been reanimated. I like that. Yeah, and adrenochrome is real. I don't know anything about Simon Parkes. He does a lot of UFO stuff, doesn't he? I don't know any. I've never seen anything. Young black conservative raised near me in Stamford, Connecticut. I know where that is. She now works at turning pinpoint US start the Brexit campaign. Yeah, I don't know the lady or anything about her. The Mandela effect is definitely real to some degree. Again, it's altered realities that get crossed over. Definitely, absolutely, it's true to some degree. That Sinbad movie, I have the same memory as everyone else. No, it's not. a false memory. I know that that one is definitely real. Does gold protect against negative energies? I don't know, but certain stones do, like diamonds and stuff like that, or precious stones like rubies, and that's why the queens are called, the royals are covered in them. Will League of Ireland move to winter? And I hope it doesn't, because it's been much. The European results and everything have been better in the summer, and it's the atmosphere is better under floodlights at night time. But the weather in Ireland is so shit that's like it doesn't make much difference. But definitely the pitches are better. If you look since they've moved to the summer season in Ireland, there's less damage to the football, the grass and the turf and the pitches. No, I think they should continue following the Scandinavian model and keep the league going in summer. Hellgate's Fit, I'm in Cambridgeshire, born and bred. You're absolutely correct. This is a test lab. I would love to talk with you about it. Oh, definitely. Like Cambridge is I've been studying that place for years, and it is definitely. There's something seriously wrong with the city of Cambridge in England. Just like someone had mentioned, Pats. Someone had mentioned it's full of junkies and alcohol. It's full of the amount of alcoholics and drugs and everything. The only good thing that came out of Cambridge was Pink Floyd. Gerald Clark. I don't know who Gerald Clark is. Yeah, but there's also like the ones who live in the canal boats, and there's a lot of alcoholism and drug addiction going on there. The whole atmosphere around Cambridge is awful. The toxic energy, and it's also where all the animal testing labs and everything are. Yeah, Glastonbury's got that similar dualist thing, right? I do like Glastonbury. At least Glastonbury is a nice place in parts. Cambridge, I don't find anything nice about it. Paul Anka died. Is he still alive? Yeah, and in many ways, psyops are a deep state form of hexing. Yeah, in some ways, hey Tonal, welcome back. In some ways, they really are. Yeah, I bought the sulfur soap. Yeah, I tried it as well. It didn't work. It's the climate here in the west of Ireland doesn't help. You see, it's not so bad now. Look at that. It's because it's the contrast thing. It's not. People in my normal everyday life don't even notice until they see these videos and they say, "What happened? I saw in your video. It looks worse on the video for some reason." With the cold, it definitely affects it. If the temperature gets suddenly cold, it starts to move, and it moves. It moves up here sometimes, other times it's there. It's nothing you can do about it, really. You just have to live with it. Hello from Kilkenny. Giant Oak. Oh, great name, that. I like that. I approve of your name. I approve. You're an achiever. Giant Oak is an achiever. In Kilkenny, he's an achiever. And he's talking to me. Will the Psyops blow back on them? No, because we're the willing fools. Well, we're not, though. But the ones that take Oxford is a theoretical application, Cambridge is the physical application. Well, Tunal, it's very interesting you say that because I heard a great theory once that someone had suggested that William Blake's Dark Satanic Mills was actually Oxford and Cambridge. That's what he was talking about. Sid Barrett, yeah. Eye colors, Thomas, particularly green. No, I don't really know anything about that. I don't think there's any. I'm sure there is like occultic stuff to that. I don't know anything about it. Bring back the snakes, yeah, Tom Sutherland. Bring back the snakes. Hello from Croydon. Is Stanford Research Institute another place like Cambridge? Yeah, I don't know, but I'm sure it is. But there's something dark and occultic and toxic about Cambridge in England. I can't explain it. It's just like awful, awful, and no one there seems to be happy. And it's got some really bad neighborhoods around it, along with all these super rich people going to the universities and stuff. Has lots of weird, creepy murders and child murders over the years in it and stuff like that. Thank you, not sure, AV. That's Spence. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, and Oliver Cromwell came from the Lord Protector. He was a farmer in Cambridgeshire, wasn't he? A landowner. The town people don't mix with the college people. I know, but the thing is that the town people are definitely being affected by the college people. Tracy Tiemann, yeah, I remember that woman. She committed suicide. She was always very nice to me on. She used to comment on my Facebook, on my Facebook pages. She always came across a very nice lady. Her tragic death was very sad. But I'm not going to speculate on what caused it. But one of the last things I heard about her, she was claiming to have been in communication with Baphomet, and she was either channeling or using Ouija boards, and Baphomet doesn't actually exist. There's no being called Baphomet. It was like a conglomerated being. It's like so I don't know, but it's a very sad story. Yeah, she died. She committed suicide apparently. Anthony had a baby as well. It's even sadder. A little boy. Do I practice psychic protection all the time? I have to. I'd be dead. I'd be dead a long time ago. I didn't. I'd been dead a decade ago if I didn't. Do you think the Irish pub industry will recover? Yeah, it will. I just won't. Yeah, I think it's like the man said in my video yesterday. In Spain, everything's back to normal, and Corona was a memory. It'll happen here too. Yeah, sulfur is very heavily used in alchemy. I don't know about in other things. She was murdered. I didn't hear about that one. I mean, I'm sure these rumors go around, but it's still a sad story. Yeah, psychic firewall. Yep, Denise, always a psychic firewall. So, have I been on the higher side chats? I think I have, haven't I? I can't remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have been. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been on that show. Yeah, well, Ouija boards are very risky. They're very, very risky because those low level entities will tell you anything you want to hear. Like I said, watch the movie Veronica. That shows you. Loving your sorcery book, Nathru No 9. Yeah, well, thank you, Nathru No 9. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I loved writing it. Do you know much about the knock on trees to ask for favors? Oh, I heard about that. No, I don't really know much about it. Other than I heard about it. Does Ireland have mosquitoes? Yeah, and midges. Both mosquitoes and midges. It's why in summertime going out on the mountains and bogs are eaten alive. Good, Perth. I got my sister lives in Perth, Rob. Who is Pazuzu? Pazuzu is a Babylonian or Sumerian demon of the wind and pestilence, and he blows from the southwest. So he carries disease from the southwest. Pazuzu's power force was very, very powerful about 6 or 7 years ago, and he seems to have moved into a kind of a dormant stage. His archetype, but Pazuzu is the demon from the movie The Exorcist. Have you thought about doing a talk with Stex and Sex? I like Stex. I like Stex Hexenhammer 666. I don't know what we'd really talk about. Like what I mean, he doesn't have guests and I don't have guests, so doubt that will ever happen. But yeah, I mean, I like it. Yeah, I watch him now and again. He's good. Well, yeah, but Pazuzu's power force was really big about 6 years ago. It's diminished ever in recent times. You think it'd be like really big at the moment with the corona and stuff like that. But, however, the fact that Pazuzu's archetype didn't resurrect with the Rona will tell you that there never was a pandemic. There was a corona, there was a flu, there was a disease, people got sick and died, but it wasn't a pandemic. So that kind of proves it with the fact that Pazuzu didn't. Red Ice 10 years ago, that was a long time ago now. Saint Corona, painter say the plague. It's mad, isn't it? You couldn't make that stuff up. No, I know nothing about Shintoism. Sorry. I'm interested in everything, but I don't have time to look at everything. June 15th date in England. Magna Carta, what time? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I like both of you. Sticks in your talks. You learned a lot of occult knowledge. That's good. Okay. What is the best psychic protection? Well, as usual, no contact ever again towards dark individuals. If you have to work or live with them, carry sea salt, organic sea salt, not any kind of other salt, on your person. The sea salt from the Dead Sea in Israel is the best of all, and keep quartz crystals on your person. And also, the thing is to make sure they don't notice you. Become not kind of aloof to them. The Thoth deck is excellent. Don't get the big huge one because it's, even though you can enjoy it for the artwork, you can't. It's difficult to deal that deck. Get the small deck. But yeah, nothing wrong with the Thoth deck. It's great, great. Your thoughts on the solstice? Well, what kind? I remember what my thoughts on them are. Yeah, the preeminent chaos magicians are on the 4chan. Have the McCanns found a patsy? Oh, we could sit there here forever talking about the McCanns and what happened with that child. She was 17 now, believe it or not. Yeah, but then put it this way, the only people that know who took, as far as I'm concerned, Maddie McCann were her parents. I had a dream that I bought a giant Rider White deck. That could be like telling you to get into divination more, Jason. High Brazel. Yeah, well, High Brazel is probably some kind of folk memory of Atlantis. It's something like that. No, I haven't read Stanish's Zergars yet. Yeah, like the Thoth deck is very popular. It's very it's very strong. It's got a strong energy. Oh, that's so funny about quantum of conscious, because somebody just told me to watch that. My friend in America told me to watch those videos today, and you're the second person, Angie. I should check that out. So, yeah, ovomancy. It's also called the use of eggs for divination, where the yolk falls, how big the yolk is, if the yolk has any kind of blemishes in it. Thank you, L. Something L. Wiener. Love your work. Thank you. I never watched Stranger Things. Tiernan Ogre's Atlantis. Could be. I mean, they're all. Lots of cultures have stories of lands beyond the sea that are gone, where the ancestors were. Yeah, well, unfortunately, Alan Moore is an all time lefty. I think his magic has lost its power in direct proportion to his Trump derangement syndrome. Oh, I love Merciful Fate and King Diamond. The Oath is a fantastic album. Absolutely fantastic. It's a scary album as well. Don't Take the Oath. The Oath is a great album. Shlanta Thomas, you're looking and feeling well to me. I am. I feel great, and thank you very much, Jamie. Lots of love to you too. King Diamond, yeah, excellent, excellent. Some people have his voice is a bit too squeaky or something, but for some reason it does work. It does work in the context of the band. Some of the musicianship on the Merciful Fate albums is outstanding. Was the Holy Grail real? No, it was a concept of knowledge. You know, you have the whole thing. The Freemasons trying to tell you it was the blood of Christ. No, it wasn't real. But the Holy Grail is probably based on the cauldron of the Dagda. The four Grail treasures are identical to the four treasures of the ancient treasures of Ireland and the Tuatha De Danann. And Geoffrey of Monmouth, who wrote about the Holy Grail, wrote the Grail mysteries, also and translated them into early French and English. Also wrote about Maryland and the moving of ancient stones from Ireland to build Stonehenge. So the Grail mysteries is the Holy Grail could well be the cauldron of the Dagda. Lemuria, Sri Lanka is the remnants of Lemuria, and Ireland and western parts of Britain and Western Europe that are still above water, Spain, Portugal parts, and France are the remnants of Atlantis that's still above water. But Sri Lanka is what's left of uh, of Lemuria that's still above water. The Crusaders were uh, just mad fanatics. There's nothing special about them. And they're also about stealing land. You kill a pagan or you kill an Arab or you kill a Jew, you keep his land. And if they get killed in battle, the Pope gets to keep their land. The Crusaders was just a big land speculation deal. That's all that was. Nothing magical or spiritual about that. Do you know what the situation is in Northern Ireland? Do you think a good place to come back to? I need to get out of the city. Oh, I don't. Northern Ireland I find very boring. Okay, Northern Ireland is a very there's lots of nice people up there and there's lots of great things to see and there's no trouble up there now. The thing with Northern Ireland is I find it very boring. It's still the 1950s up there in many ways. You go from say Strand Hill and in Sligo across to Enniskillen in Northern Ireland, and it's like going from Miami Beach today to like 1950s England. The Northern Ireland. There's not nice people up there. There's loads to do, but it's conservative. It's British backwatery. That's the way I'd put it. So it'd be like moving from if you live in London and you don't like it, moving to Northern Ireland now would be like moving to I don't know Macclesfield or something. It's still very British in many ways, but old time British. But at the same time too, there's lots of good things about it. A lot of the Northern Ireland people are extremely nice and friendly. They're the nicest people in the world up there. Strabane, complete ghost town. It's a sad place, but amazing, what that's been through in its history. I know in the Northern Ireland towns, they're not. I mean, Southern Ireland is much more lively and bouncy, and how this thing might change after this all lockdown ends and everything. But as things stand now, the South is more vibrant, and I just how it is. I like London a lot, but I've never lived there. But I do like the city and going there. But they always say if you live in a place, it changes. The alt-right has a weird fetish for 1950s America. That's very true. They'd probably like Northern Ireland then because it's like being a lot like back being in the 50s. And doesn't the American accent come from the Ulster accent, I think? Psychedelics and magical operations, they don't work and they're not for that. The thing is, when you're doing magical work, you must keep your mind as clear and as focused as possible. If you're drunk or stoned or on hallucinogenics, you're opening yourself up to dangers and things going wrong. You don't use psychedelics in magical work. And they're there for a whole other thing altogether. Consciousness exploration, artwork, that kind of thing. They're not for magical. When you're doing a magical operation, you have to be a scientist with a clear mind. You don't want to be messing with the building blocks of reality and your sanity when you're on those things. The two of they down and went into the earth, hollow earth. No, they went into it's a metaphor that they went into the ancient pagan sites of Ireland. that we lost our pagan spiritual soul in many ways. But there's tunnels all around this part of Ireland that that absolutely do the openings, the much deeper systems that go way into the earth. So yeah, who knows? Who knows? I'm open to that. I do believe in the inner earth, not the hollow earth, the inner earth, that there is something else down there. The books, the estate. No, they weren't about those Freemasonic books. Aren't about any kind of plans for the future. They're just they're they were the high they were highest level study books of Freemasonry. I have two of them and I sold two, but they're about what the real meaning, the deep meanings of understanding and breaking up things so you can reorganize them. And that's what I learned an awful lot from. But they don't tell you about what the future's anything like that's coming. Freemasons Freemasons are not as powerful as you think they are. Is it wall to wall Balrogs down there? Him could be, you never know. Those Chinese face changing thing is amazing. I can't figure out how that's done. Well, isn't tobacco used in lots of rituals as well? Because it's a mild narcotic rather than a hallucinogenic. So yeah, I mean it's been very commonly used in Native American rituals and some other things, and in shamanism as a cleansing kind of thing. So yeah, I mean I don't do it, but it is used in those things. Chinese face changers, yeah, Nadine should check it out. They do this and the face changes instantly. They're masks, but it's unbelievable how they do it. They do that and the new face comes in a split second, and they go like that, and faces change instantaneously. I don't. It's like that's the thing with stage magicians. Some of them are using the real thing. That's the great That's the great secret of stage magic. Is some stage magicians are using the real thing, as well as tricks. They're using the real thing. I saw this ridiculous video. It's supposed to be debunking. I haven't spoken to Vinny Eastwood in years, ever since he had that fucking cow on it who was slagging me off, and I was upset about him for letting him have her on it. That fucking hermaphrodite, what was her name? Kira Young. But I haven't really spoke to him since then. He upset me back then. I don't think it was his fault, but I was upset by that. But yeah, so there was a thing on, what was his name? Dynamo. And it was supposed to debunk him. And it was supposed to have debunked him. And it didn't at all. It didn't at all debunk him. Rosicrucianism, yeah, well, it's kind of like, it's a very important movement. Don't know Damien Eccles, never heard of him. Pop Hayden, great magician. Oh, check that out after this is over. I love stage magic. I love David Copperfield. I love Dynamo. I love David Blaine. I love all that stuff. I love all that. I don't care if it's real or it's a trickery or anything. I love stage magic. I love it. I absolutely love it. Do you think China will invade India? They are long-time enemies, but I don't think so. China would be destroyed if it did. Is Rudolf Steiner's Anthroposophy compatible with paganism? I guess it kind of is. I mean, the whole thing is with like his Theosophists and there's other kind of things like that. There was all kinds of fads back then for all Ariosophy, all this kind of thing, armament and all this stuff. Yeah, is it compatible? No, but he's he's putting across the wrong version of Lucifer, the esoteric Lucifer. But I mean, like, there's good in everything. I mean, in most of that stuff. But I wouldn't. Don't join movements. Have a read. Dip your feet. Take a drink from the font and move on. The Order of Nine Angels? No, I never heard of them. Fuck you. Great name. Hey, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, boy. Fuck you. Darren Brown. He's good too. I like his shows. He's more hypnotism and like mind control, but I like that stuff too. Hello again from Minnesota. That's where Minneapolis is, isn't it? Daniel O'Connell was not only a Mason, he took during that Daniel O'Connell is an extremely dodgy character, the great emancipator of the Irish Catholics. When 1798 was going on, he was the chairman of the Irish Masonic, the society, the Irish Freemasonic, the Grand Order, and he refused to take sides with the United Irishmen, and he was so this great liberator was a very strange character. The other Irish revolutionary much later on, James Connolly, even said that about Daniel O'Connell. He's like, whose side was he actually on? And when he dies, my heart to Rome, my body to Ireland. So he gave Ireland his piece of meat, but he gave his heart went to Rome, saying that like that no matter what, Rome was where his things his spiritual identity lay, but Ireland was could have his meat, his flesh, his waste. Very peculiar character, Daniel O'Connell. Very peculiar. Keith Barry, yeah, he's all right. He's not as good as Dynamo, but he's all right. The Golden Dawn is still very active. You can go and join them in most big cities. I could go to Dublin and join the Golden Dawn if I wanted. They're quite open and they're interested in new members. It's just that there's a lot of study involved. I mean, if you want to do magic, it could be interesting for that reason. Tommy Cooper was a brilliant comic and magician, yeah, stage magician. But yeah, like if you want to go join the Golden Dawn, if you're into that, if you're into all that, but it's a lot of work, it's a lot of study and a lot of rituals and stuff like that. But that can be interesting too if that's your thing. What is Sukhov's next non-linear move, Thomas? I don't know. The town of Sheridan, Oregon, will be on the lookout for cool history. Cool. I didn't know there was a town of Sheridan in Oregon. Oh yeah, Daniel O'Connell was a dodgy people. A dodgy individual. I don't know what to make of him. If you watch my Occult Dublin documentary, and you see that statue of him in Dublin, and it's filled with all kind of esoteric and Freemasonic stuff. Oh yeah, that's Vladislav Sukrov stuff is truly fascinating. George Bernard Shaw, at least though, he didn't pretend to be an Irish nationalist. Something Pyramid in Montana. No, I don't know about that. You mean James Connolly? James Connolly was sincere, but he was a communist. But then again, communism was probably, I guess it's probably socialism was different back then. Yeah, a lot of veneration of the bull in Dublin is because Dublin is dedicated to the god Apollo. And the veneration of Apollo is in terms of its zoomorphic representation is the Brucranium, which is a bull's head, and all the old buildings and all the banks and everything in Dublin city centre are covered in Brucranium. In fact, the customs house is a temple of Apollo. There is nothing but the Brucranium all over the inside and the outside of that building. And so Dublin and the Apollo Lodge began in Dublin, which is one of the most powerful Freemasonic lodges in the world to this day, and massively powerful. And they started in Dublin, and there's that's why there was a big hassle about that Apollo House thing in Dublin, because that's where the original lodge building was. You didn't know that? I see. The Masons are still very active, but yeah, Dublin is dedicated to the god Apollo. It's Apis in Egyptian, yeah, but in the Brucranium is all over central Dublin. Ralph Ellis. Now I tell you about Ralph Ellis. Ralph Ellis plays the whole British Israelite thing. It's all like goes back to the Bible and Jesus and British Israelism, and it's total British Israelism, which is it's not it's just that's his thing. So it wouldn't be for me. Cloud busting, yeah, that's just cloud busting is using your concentration to kill to dissolve clouds. It can be done. I've done it myself loads of times. Do you think McCready was infected? I don't know who's McCready. No, not Don. I never heard of Alexander Sachs. We have, oh yeah, Northern Ireland also is huge British Israelism. Huge. The whole Orange Order and all that, that's all British Israelism. The Tara Lodge and all that stuff. That Ireland is has a destiny with the Bible and stuff like that. That the Ark of the Covenant is buried in Tara and all this stuff. Oh, Northern Ulster, Northern Ireland's major centre of British Israelism, even to this day. Johnny Street Monk, yeah, I have that video on my channel, on my open source occult channel. Oh, from the movie The Thing, yeah, it was brilliant. I love that movie. Weston Super Mayor, Alistair Crowley spelled he had no theology. Yeah, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. They were everywhere. Mud flood thing is bullshit. That's all made up. Stone of Destiny. No, that's real. That stone was in Ireland and was brought to Scotland and then down to the Stone of Scone. And there's also the Leafal, which is in Tara, which is in the wrong place. It was moved by 1798 from in front of the Mound of the Hostages on top of a place where they killed loads of people. And after a battle, they massacred them and put the stone on top of them. The Leafal stone in Tara is in the wrong place. In fact, I have a strong belief it should be moved back to where it was, in front of the Mound of the Hostages. There's also an astronomical alignment that's been changed by doing that. Have you ever met Christopher Lee? No, I was going to see him at UCD before he died. The videos of that conference are all over, big hits on YouTube, but I didn't know how to get to it. I don't know anyone in UCD and a way to get there, but I did. I wanted to go meet him big time. Yeah, I was wondering too what would happen if we moved the Leofile back to the Stone of the Hostages. That's where it belongs. It's in the wrong place. That statue of St. Patrick has to be removed as well from the Hill of Tara. I don't mind it moving to the churchyard, but where it is on the Hill of Tara, that statue of St. Patrick needs to be moved. That'd be like having a picture of Hitler in Auschwitz to celebrate his great day there. Leap Castle, no, I don't know that part of the country that well. I'd like to go to Leap Castle, but no, I don't know that area. That's an amazing place, that. Yeah, the finding the Temple of Nemesis. What's interesting about them finding the Temple of Nemesis in Greece is that it turns out that the Romans had modeled all their amphitheaters on the Temple of Nemesis. So they took something that was to do with a kind of a worship of the goddess of destruction and vengeance, and then moved it into a place the gladiators were all killing each other. Well, the Greeks used it for art and theatre and plays. No, it's very interesting that the Temple of Nemesis was found last week in Lesbos, of all places. I've been to Lesbos. VON Sound 2020. I'll definitely do a VON, but don't be bugging me all the time. You're getting these videos off me every single day. These are kind of like daily VONs when you think about it. The swastika is not on the cairn, Venitas and Sligolas. The swastika is on a standing stone in what's the name of the village? It's just north Carney. It's in the village of Carney, just on the way to Bundoran, in a field behind a housing estate. There's a boggy field. It's hard to get into, but in there is a standing stone with the swastika on it from ancient times. It's not on a cairn though. It's just standing in a field on its own. Very interesting. It's the Hindu swastika. It's at an angle. Not saying it's from Hindus, but it's that style of swastika. Is there a Stargate in Ireland? Good question. I don't know. Never really thought about it. That's one I need to think about. Are Anto and Deco still protesting? No, Anto's on a spiritual journey, and Deco is no one to hang out with. He's trying. He's on a psychedelic journey. Kerry Cassie says there's a Stargate in Ireland. I don't know. Well, I mean, I should talk to Maria Wheatley. She knows a lot about these kinds of things. I'm sure there's something like that here. No, what's going on in Bempton, Mark? I don't even know where Bempton is, but what's going on there? Did the Vikings ever get to Thailand? Don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised they got to the moon. They got everywhere else. I've tons of information on the Morrigan. It depends what you want to know about them. Oh, I know Duncan, Robert. I know Duncan quite well. These him and his wife, Susan, are friends, good friends of mine. Yeah, I know Duncan really well. We're supposed to be doing something lately, but he kind of fell off the radar. This happens. We make all these plans to do things together, and it never seems to happen for someone. We're all busy or doing something at the same time. Yeah, Duncan's a mate of mine. What do you mean Egyptian purposes? What are they? What are Egyptian purposes? Oh, Finon, I heard you pronounce it. Greystones, County Wicklow, very nice. Yeah, tough eyes. That's true. There's a massive missing gap, and that's what the mythology filled in. I hate how mainstream portrays the Vikings played an important role. Yes, they did, and Vikings were very cultured people. No, any new books on the horizon? No, not right now. Maybe in a few months. Thank you for it's Vladimir Sukov. It's Vladislav Sukov, but you're welcome. Yeah, fascinating stuff. All right. Crop circles, yeah, they're fascinating. I don't know what I talked about the crop circles on this video last week. Who are your favorite film directors? I like Martin Scorsese's films. I like Francis Ford Coppola's films. I like. I don't. I mean, I like Hitchcock's films. I like John Ford's westerns. I like lots of directors' works. Like Woody Allen's films. UFO portals, missing people, men in black, werewolf sightings. Well, I have to check that out, Mark. That sounds fascinating. Where in England is Bempton? Viking Lives Matter. Phil Hine from Chaos Magic. I read his books on it. Very interesting stuff. White lines really matter. White lines on your mind, pure as the driven snow. White lines blow away. Great stuff that was. Christopher Lee read The Lord of the Rings every year, same as two friends of mine. Friendship still has strong. We joked when we would ever pass each other street 40 years later from now. Hence not to be. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Billy Wilder, I don't know what that is. We can eventually revive it through the world of entertainment or force. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. That's definitely true, Truffles. No, I don't know what that is, Giant Oak. With Noel and I is a classic. I've never seen it. I like nudie films. We all like nudie films. Laplanders, yeah, it's the Sami. They're a very interesting culture. And one of the biggest pagan, probably the largest. People say pagans all vanished from Europe, and then they forget about the Sami. The Sami are pagans. They're just because they're hiding up there by the north in the far north of Europe. They're forgotten about, even though they cover a vast area of Norway's they're little fellas. You see them, they're little fellas, and they look like Native American. I've saw them when I was in Norway. They're little fellas, and they look they're just different looking. They look like Tibetans or something. Damon Lives Matter. I think I'm going to go for a pint tonight. When I can't go to the pub, but I think I'll buy. I'm going to break my alcohol fast and go get a few cans. Was Rory Gallagher actually on Catholic Month? And first I heard of that one. Stardust, John Borman. It's such a strange movie, that. Have I ever been to San Francisco? Yeah, I have. I was with a fella. I was visiting a friend there. And I'm honest with you, I didn't get a proper chance to look around San Francisco because we were on the piss every night and too hungover in the daytime to explore. It was one of those things you do when you're younger, and then you wait when you get older. You waste like, why did I waste my trip there? Hanging out with fellas who just wanted to go on the piss and meet women. Your man from Bo Selecta, yeah, Simone. You fucking bastards, you bastards, you bast. I love that Bo Selecta. Show was so funny. The little teddy bear. Oh, what a pathetic thing to apologize for that. You bastards, you bastards. He destroyed Craig David's career. Because Craig David was on the up and up, but it just people are going, Craig Davids. To this day, apparently, wherever Craig Davids goes in the world, well, in this part of the world, he says you hear someone shouting, Craig Davids. I was very surprised to see him apologize for that, because that guy did amazing things with that little show when you making your woman with the big lips from the Spice Girls, Mel B. You bastards! Oh, I was so Craig Davids. If I saw Craig Davids today, I'd probably go Craig. Shamona. That show was brilliant. That was when Channel 4 had great comedy shows. What you call it, Eurotrash. Oh, just so funny, so fucking funny. Imagine being Craig Davis. Your career ruined by someone making fun of your name, Craig Davis. Poor guy. Shamona. Oh, very funny. That show was a scream. And then I saw him, when you see him like apologizing for making fun, he wasn't making fun of black people, he was making fun of everything. Well, he's going to apologize to teddy bears for doing that little teddy bear that had the erections, that had the same voice as, what was his name, Ronnie Corbett. Would you like to touch my penis? I would like you to touch my penis. Craig Davids. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that in my head all day now. Genius. Oh yeah, Bo Selector was great. Scary Spice, yeah. Actually, Mel B was the prettiest of all the Spice Girls. The sooty and sweep thing, yeah. He was a genius. But he's probably, his career's gone to shit, and he's like, Any plan on doing gigs? I mean, talking gigs? No, nothing. I haven't really thought about it. If someone wants to pay me to go somewhere, I'll do it. Connections between the Manson family and the Process Church? I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any. I think what happened at the ranch with the Manson family, it happened all by itself. He was off on his own. But there is connections between the Process Church, the Final Judgment, and Berkowitz and the Son of Sam murders, and possibly the killing of John Lennon. No, I don't remember the word on Channel 4. I loved Eurotrash and I loved Bo Selected. They were both brilliant. They're both brilliant. Yeah, Ted Bundy and Charles Manson didn't kill anybody. Yeah, there were some asshole people involved in that and did terrible things, but he didn't kill anybody. Occultists in with the U.S. military, yeah, full of them. Look at all, especially U.S. Navy. It's packed full of Freemasons. Universalism, don't know anything about it. I just have heard the name. I don't know what it means. It sounds very culty to me. No, she's been crying out. Oh God, that Ellen DeGeneres is such a creepy, scary person. I find her highly disturbing. Highly disturbing. I don't know anything about Boris's girlfriend. I don't pay attention. Was McCready infected in the thing? No, I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, I don't think so. No, I don't. No interest in geomancy. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just no interest in it. Those rail guns are pretty terrifying, all right. Have you seen what the Spice Girls look like? What's her name? Emma Thompson hasn't aged at all. Or Emma Bunting, sorry, was her name. She looks amazing. No, I haven't watched Planet of the Humans. Is that? Oh, that's the one with Michael Moore. No, I heard it's quite good though. I'm an atheist, thank God. Yeah, that was what was his name? Dave Allen, the Irish comedian back in the '70s. Of course, said that. He says, "Thank God, I'm an atheist." My tail has popped out. Yeah. We are the world's greatest humans. We are achievers. In this tribe, we're achievers. Are ritualistic ceremonies necessary? No, not at all. But some kind of pageantry, or what's the word, symbolism charged thing is definitely needed. Definitely needed. Something to focus on, even if it's a poem or a drawing, but definitely some kind of ritual. But you don't need to necessarily have big ceremonial rituals. You don't have to necessarily do that. Project Bluebeam for real? I don't know, but of all the conspiracies, I don't believe in most conspiracies, or I believe there's parts of these conspiracies that are true, but not the whole thing. But yeah, that was Pyman was the demon and Hereditary's demon. The 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 Project Bluebeam was the one that always seemed most plausible to me that they could do, and they could have done it years ago. They could have done it. They with using even pre-digital technology. Using lights and projecting films on clouds, and even building flying saucers that flew with like helicopter type engines that couldn't be seen. And yes, definitely. If there's one thing, like even the closing ceremony, the 1984 Olympics with the spaceship flying in, they could have. Yeah, I heard about the race attack in Cork. I spoke about it earlier on the video. They could, yeah, holograms, yeah. They could have done this years ago. Just protection, not even holograms, film projections on clouds. The CIA were trying to project the Virgin Mary above Havana so that people would turn against Fidel Castro. So they tried it. Now, so the most plausible of all those big government conspiracies to me has always been Project Bluebeam. And maybe they have, I don't know, but it's like, to me, I could, yeah, even though it may not be called that, to me, that is one that I definitely could see being unleashed. I live in Iberia, Spain, Ireland, Hibernia. We don't like Hibernia, we like Era. Yeah, like the Project Bluebeam is definitely fascinating stuff. Just because there's been so many things done like it, and it could have been it could have been done years ago. Sierra Nevada beers are the ones to get. We don't. Do we have them? Oh, we do have them here. Yeah, I've had them. Yeah, I've even had them. They're lovely. They're sold in. Yeah, I've had Sierra Nevada beers. They're sold there's a pub in Sligo in Strand Hill. The Dunes have it on tap. Lovely, absolutely lovely. Dark Shadows. I love the old Dark Shadows show with Barnabas and everything. Yeah, I love that show. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is my favorite. Yeah, no, there's a pub not far when it was open again. You can get them. Lovely, just lovely. It's nice to have a nun around. Gives the place a bit of glamour. Okay, guys, I gotta go now. Have a good evening. Enjoy yourself. Remember, don't let the news get you down. Don't let any of that stuff get you down. And I'll be back here around this time next week for another open chat. So thanks everyone for showing up and the great questions and the laughs and keeping us all safe from the mind control that's the horrors of the media at the world right now. Look after yourselves. Love yous all and take care.